Every life carries a blueprint. Well, I'm not talking about the one which is written on a paper, rather, I'm talking about the one which is slowly shaped over time. Well, this could be the experiences which we carry, or it could be the movements that transform us, or this could be the small decisions which we take in our day to day life, which slowly defines who we become. The Living Blueprint is also a podcast where we listen to these kind of journeys and also learn from the people who have lived it. We live in a world full of information. Well, if you want to know about a country, just take few seconds to know about its culture, its tradition, its people, and everything you want to know about it. But these all information are only facts. Whereas the knowledge is actually gives you an understanding, the soul behind those facts. That gives you an explanation that why a particular country celebrates the way it does, why the people of that country think the way they do, or why their culture may or may not look very familiar to us, but most importantly why the story matters to the world. And that curiosity is where the living blueprint begins. Welcome everyone. My name is Jayita Ghosh and this show is brought to you by Jayita Strategia. Well, through our show, we would like to know a particular country more than the headlines and travel guides and know from a person who actually represents it, who lives it, and also shapes the future of that country. And today, we are going to explore one such country which is known through the land of ancient civilization, through its bold colors and unforgettable flavors, music, festival, as well as tradition that itself celebrates life. Well, you guessed it right. It is Mexico. Well, it is a complete honor to have with us none other than the Consul General of Mexico in Mumbai, Mr. Adolfo García Estrada. Bienvenido, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jayita. It's a pleasure to be here.
That's, before I start anything, sir, I know you have been doing wonders. He has been strengthening the friendship between India and Mexico since past many years through business, culture, tourism, education, many more. So kudos, sir. I mean, what you're doing, it is really, really appreciated.
Thank you very much.
So before we go, sir, into the series of questions and have this candid conversation, I just wanted to understand that, we get two passports in our life. One is passport which is given to by our country, but the other one is given by the people. So you have been in Mumbai for quite a long time. So what Mumbai has given you? What is that feeling which Mumbai has given you?
Well, Mumbai is such a wonderful place. I think that the first thing that comes to my mind is energy. This is a city so full of energy, uh, something that I had never experienced to this scale. So living here, you get immersed in this vibrant environment, this hectic environment, and it is very invigorating, and it really motivates you. I mean, as a professional, as a diplomat, it is really motivating and inspiring to be here. That, and of course the warmth of the friendliness of its people,
Right.
it's something really special.
I completely agree. This is a particular city, I have been here since last 15 years. This city never makes you sleep. I mean, everyone is awake right in the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. So, okay, so everyone knows Mexico. Before I go to Mexico, I want to understand, we know the word as Mexico, but the real name of Mexico is different. It is, I believe, United Mexican City.
United Mexican City, it's official.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So I just wanted to, and it is one of the few countries where the capital is also Mexico City. Like, so we know for tacos and tequilas, but for you, like, how can you say that Mexico? You can explain to someone who hasn't met Mexico. How would you explain them about Mexico in a few words?
Well, Mexico is a country, of course, as you know, is located in between North America and Central America. It's a Latin American country by heart. We are largely Spanish-speaking country, and it is a country, I would say, very diverse,
Right.
very modern. It has this strong heritage this traditional heritage, but also it's a very modern, vibrant society. So it is at the other side of the planet, as you know, but it's also very close to the heart, I know, of Indian people.
Yes, of course.
So wherever I go in India, Mexico is recognized by its culture, by its cuisine, and that's also very encouraging, and it makes our work very, much easier.
Agreed. I mean, I believe India and Mexico shares a lot of things in common. We value tradition a lot, family gatherings a lot. Even you do the same. I mean, for you, the family is very important. At the same time, I believe the spices usage is very common and similar in Mexico as well as in India. Talking about spices and about the food and everything, I believe salt was first recognized in Mexico way years back. So do you have anything to say about it?
About spices?
About spices, about salt specifically. It was also discovered for the first time in Mexico, long time back.
Salt?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what I can say is that Mexican cuisine, of course, is recognized as a very rich and a very flavorful, diverse, and also spicy cuisine. And of course, we share that with the Indian cuisine. We love strong flavors, and both our cuisines are spicy, but that maybe hides a high degree of complexity and sophistication in both our cuisines. So we are full of
Right.
different, maybe particular flavors, and Indians recognize and relate to that.
Correct.
So I think that it is very easy for Mexicans to love Indian cuisine, Indian dishes, because we are used to these spicy, strong flavors, and vice versa.
Because whenever there is a foreigner or someone, a foreign friend or diplomat comes from a different country, the first thing which we take care of that, that the food has to be to their taste.
Yes.
And I believe with Mexico, we not take care of that because we are already comfortable with the spices which Indian household makes.
Well, yes, sometimes, but I have to say that Indian spices are at another level. Some dishes in India can be really hot, even for a Mexican.
Nice. Have you tasted what is your favorite food here in India till now?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite dishes. I love biryani. I love anything in tandoor chicken, for instance. I love, of course, vegetarian dishes. I love palak paneer. So I mean, the list goes on and on.
That's it. Okay, so many commonalities between India and Mexico. There's one more thing, like we both have, ancient civilization. So what do you think? I mean, Mexico, as you know, has been with ancient civilization since very long time. So what is it still with the new Mexicans? I mean, the modern people, maybe the Gen Zs and the new upcoming youth who don't know much about, the ancient civilization, how they still relate to those feelings or those emotions.
Well, as you know, Mexico has a very strong indigenous heritage. So we have, of course, the European heritage through the Spanish conquest, but also very strong heritage from the big civilizations that were natural native from Mexico, the Aztecs, the Mayas, and many others, Toltecs. And I would say that their heritage is pretty much alive. You can see that everywhere you go in Mexico. And I'm not talking only about the sites, the archaeological sites, which by the way are wonderful, but the way we eat, the way we speak, the language, even in Mexican Spanish, is full of words, Nahuatl words. That was the language that was spoken by the Aztecs.
Right.
So it is very present. It is pretty much that heritage is pretty much alive. We could not understand Mexico and Mexicans without taking into account the culture of our ancestors.
Okay. And talking about the languages, I believe Mexican has 68 distinctive languages.
Yes.
But the majorly spoken is Spanish. And I believe more than Spain, people speak Spanish in Mexico. I just read somewhere. So is it true?
Yes, that's correct. Language would be the national language that most of our citizens will speak Spanish, but there are still, as you rightly point out, 68 indigenous languages. Some of them are endangered because the number of speakers is getting smaller, And you're saying day by day. Yes, day by day, year by year. But we are trying, and the Mexican government has a policy of promoting our language, our national indigenous peoples and their culture, so that their culture is recognized and protected.
Right. And the archaeologists say that there are many places which are yet to be explored in Mexico and not yet been explored till now. So, do you think that Mexico is still a country to be discovered itself or not fully known to the world about it?
Yeah, they're doing. Oh, absolutely. Yes, that's pretty much the case. And in fact, talking about archaeology and archaeological sites, ruins are getting are being discovered every year in Mexico City itself. With public works, with the construction of the Mexico City subway, a lot of artifacts and ruins were discovered. And in the Yucatan Peninsula, there are also every year ruins by the Mayan civilizations being discovered all the time. So that's right. We have a glimpse of what remained, but there are of the constructions by our ancient civilizations. But I'm sure that there is plenty more to be discovered, because their heritage is so vast and so rich.
Agreed.
That there's still a lot that we have to discover, to understand, and to learn.
True, I agree. And I feel when you talk about the archaeology and ancient civilization, Mayas were not simply builders. They were also, observe like, they used to measure stars, to measure time, and understand everything with precision. So, what do you think the modern humanity has forgot that Maya used to understood so well, or is the vice versa thing?
Oh yes, you mentioned that they were very advanced they were a very advanced civilization. You mentioned during time astronomy. They measured time in long cycles, and I think that that is something that we could learn, how we could appreciate, especially in these times. They have a much longer time cycle for them to understand their life. Whereas today we live in a world where everything is instant, and also that Mayans were their constructions, their agricultural system, their astronomical system, it was very harmonious with their environment.
Okay.
And I think that is something that we absolutely we have a lot to learn about that.
Right. Now, every country has beautiful places. So, sometimes when people go there, some kind of a change happens in them. Maybe by seeing the scenic beauty, or maybe, feeling the nostalgia of their particular country. So, in Mexico, which place do you feel that gives the person that feeling when they are there?
Well, there are so many places. I mean, natural places. Like you can go to and as I said, Mexico is a very diverse country, and we have a lot of very beautiful and majestic spots that really are inspiring. And uh, I can tell you, about north of Mexico, Barrancas del Cobre. It's a canyon that is larger than the Great Canyon in the U.S. The Yucatan Peninsula, its sides.
Right.
For me, Mexico City, for instance, is also really inspiring. The Zócalo, the central square of Mexico City. The first time you see it, your jaw drops. It is really something to be seen. Its power. It's really a very powerful place.
Okay.
A very powerful experience. Being there the first time or any other time, it's so huge. And of course, it's home. So
It feels nostalgia, I can understand. So, Mexico officially also celebrates something called Pueblos Magicos,
yes.
and that is known as magical towns.
Yes.
So, I love that idea because it suggests that magic isn't created by buildings but by memories. So, what makes that town truly magical, if you want?
Well, Pueblos Mágicos, it's a magical towns. It is a program of the Mexican government to recognize some small cities, small towns that keep that their culture and the scenery pretty much alive, and that is very well preserved. So if you go to these pueblos mágicos, you can have the experience of the traditional Mexican place, that is very well preserved, and that has maybe escaped or has been preserved from other modern influences. I mean, I'm not saying that they are not modern themselves, but they are very well preserved, and that you can see the traditional Mexican architecture, the traditional Mexican culture in general, and they are, very popular. And of course, for these reasons, we always invite people, tourists to go there. So they make a wonderful, unique experience.
Right. I guess in Mexico, the major income or the major thing comes from tourism. That is your major growth of the economy that depends on tourism, plus with the distribution of beer. If I'm
Well, no, I mean, Mexico, but Mexico is a very industrialized country. So the largest um, uh, industry is the manufacturing industry.
Yeah.
That would be, by far the largest employer.
Right.
I mean, having said that, tourism is very big, a very big industry. We are among the top 10 destinations worldwide. We receive more than, depending on the year, but roughly more than 30 million international visitors per year, so which is huge. And of course, now with the World Cup,
Yes,
that is being played in Mexico, that is,
it has increased most.
it has increased, and it has raised, of course, the profile in India, particularly of the Mexican tourism.
Right. And I believe it is not very, very expensive city, if I may say, because they use peso, the currency, and I believe it is a difference of 3.41 in Indian rupees. So I don't think that is a very huge. I believe around 75,000 Indian rupees or something. People can still plan a good outing in Mexico.
Well, what I can say is that Mexico is very big and it has something for everything, for everybody, for every budget.
Okay.
So certainly it doesn't have I mean, it's not as expensive as other European or American destinations, perhaps. But I mean, in Mexico itself, in Mexico City or in Cancun, of course, you can have, as in other places, very fancy, hotels, etc. But also you can have quite affordable, holidays and experiences, and some of them are actually free. Just as I was mentioning, Mexico City, it's a fantastic experience.
I guess someone who has a fantasy of, watching a pyramid maybe, or maybe going to a desert, or maybe to have a nice kind of scuba diving. I guess everything Mexico already has. It's a huge biodiversity with almost everything covered. So if you anyone who's planning to for an outing in Mexico, that's the best place for them to travel.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned what you mentioned. We have it. Yes, I mean, even in Mexico City, you can have. Mexico is quite a modern cosmopolitan city, but also has this traditional or historic core that is wonderful to visit. You can see of course, our colonial heritage, the pre-Hispanic heritage, the ruins. There are many pyramids that are very close to the city in Teotihuacan, which is very close to Mexico City. Pueblos Mágicos, but also you can go to the Yucatan Peninsula and to do scuba diving and also swim in the cenotes. Also see the wonderful pyramids by the Mayans, from the Mayan civilization.
Right.
You can go to Baja California and see the whales in the Gulf of California. I mean, the experiences are endless.
Right. Talking about biodiversity, I have also heard that that the monarch butterflies they travel way from far and they come to Mexico. And some belief is also there that that the loved ones are returning back home. So is it true? Do you believe in that feeling?
Well, I mean, it is the mother butterflies are a wonderful sight, and it inspire a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions, and you can reflect this migration of these insects as proof of that borders are human invention, but nature doesn't care, of course, and they are very resilient little creatures that come from the north, the northern part of North America, and that also is a very powerful image, no? Resilience and the migration itself,
Right.
that comes to find a place in Mexico, in our culture.
Right. And I believe perhaps nowhere else does a country celebrates memory the way Mexicans do. I mean, Dia de los Muertos isn't about death, but it almost feels like a promise never to forget. So, what life lesson is the world still missing from this tradition?
I mean, the Day of the Dead is a very strong, very big celebration. I would say that it is widespread, in all households and the offices. People mount their altars, and that is a show of respect for the dead. But also, it's a way to have to recognize that as a active practice of not of remembrance, right? Not hiding it, but recognizing it as a fact of life and having fond memories of our departed, as, the beloved ones that have gone. So we put altars and put image photographs,
Okay.
and maybe dishes or food that that they love to eat, or they would love to drink, etc. So it's a very endearing and very nice custom and from Mexico.
And I believe you have few days where XCO is completely shut, going from 31st of October to 2nd of November, where you actually celebrate this particular, remembering your ancestors and your loved ones. Is it this?
Oh yes, I mean, the Day of the Dead, it falls exactly around those dates in the early November, and it is very important holiday, a very important occasion in the calendar. So everybody remembers marks that date. And as I say, it's not only in the homes, but in our offices, for instance, it is very common to set up an altar. So it is pretty much alive and pretty much present everywhere.
Right, right. Now, I believe this is again one can common in India and Mexico. We also have this thing, we do shraddh, that we actually give, our ancestors food which they love. And maybe the way we celebrate it's different. I can't call it as a celebration, but kind of a feeling. Yes. How we do it. Okay, so for the ancient Maya, cenotes were not simply pools of water. They were like sacred places where nature and spirituality met. So do they still carry that feeling today?
Well, in ways, yes. In many ways, yes. I mean, somebody has said that they are natural cathedrals, and if you go to a cenote, you can really understand why they are these. Many of them are very special places, where you can really, I mean, just bathe. You can even swim in them, in some of them, and they are you are in contact with nature and fresh water. I would say that yes, they have this special mystical place in Mexican culture.
Got it. Well, when you're talking about culture, I believe, there's one thing which I personally love a lot. I love chocolates a lot. And chocolate, I believe, in world, everyone before it became a dessert, it was something like a food which was used in Mexico with spices. So, can you talk a little bit about it and where did it start? And
Yes, well, chocolate, as you may know, is cacao is originally from Mexico, from that part of the world, and it was widely used by the pre-Hispanic civilizations as currency, as medicine, and as you know, it's a major ingredient in Mexican cuisine.
yes.
And before the Europeans got a taste of chocolate, it was widely used in Mexican cuisine, and it's also shows the sophistication of Mexican cuisine that has these different uh, flavors and this combination of flavors that may seem maybe not so familiar for other countries, but in Mexico, of course, we use chocolate as an ingredient in not only in sweet dishes but also in savory dishes. So and the taste is absolutely, of course, yes, marvelous. So we use chocolate in many combinations. Yeah, and there are some very famous dishes like mole, which is a savory dish, but also with these sweet, tones, and it's also spicy, and it's really wonderful.
Nice. That sounds so tempting. Yes. Okay, talking about, I believe with chocolate, there's something else which, Mexico has given to the world, maize.
Yes.
Con. I mean, we enjoy it in our theaters, but there is a belief in Mexico that maize gives more than nourishment to the food. It transforms the food completely. So, can you talk a little bit about it?
Well, maize is the staple for the staple cereal of our country. We say in Mexico, sin maíz no hay país. So without maize, there is no country. Because it's not only the base of so many dishes of the tortilla and it's many iterations, but it's at the center, at the core of the Mexican culture. So you cannot understand our country without maize and everything that it represents. So again, it's not only the source of nourishment, but I mean you cannot understand the Mexican cuisine without maize, full stop, and without our gastronomy. Then for us, you cannot understand the Mexican culture. So it is that's why it's at the real center of our identity as a country.
Nice. And also, I can say that people often say Mexico is colorful, but I sometimes wonder if colors actually Mexico's way of telling stories without word, or what do these colors really say? I mean, Mexico is known for bold colors. Let it be your street, let it be the roads. So, what exactly, for colors, what is that equation you should have?
Well, Mexican, yes, we're a very colorful country, and I think it's show of our way of being, of our culture, of our confidence, and I think that Indians can relate a lot to that because Indians are also very colorful, and Indians also love bright colors, and we can relate a lot to that. So it is of course a way of expressing ourselves. And if you go to Mexico City, I mean anywhere in the country, you will see this all over Mexico is anything but gray in every sense of the word.
Okay.
So yes, I mean I think that reflects a lot about our way of of being, of our way of looking at the world, in understanding ourselves. Whereby people we move.
Of course. So, do you love Holi, by the way? And have you played Holi anytime? Yeah.
Of course, I mean it was one of my favorite festivals in India, and it is quite fun. And then again, exactly, the point I wanted to make, that all these connections between
India and
India and Mexico, yeah.
I agree. I believe there are many connections between India and Mexico. But do you have any kind of festival where you kind of play, this kind of Holi, or I believe tomato is one of the thing which Spain does. There is a tomato squishing.
Yes.
Yeah. So does in Mexico also something like that happen?
Not to that extent, I would say. But I mean, of course we have many festivals, but not as holy. I can tell you that.
Nice. So which is the favorite one of which you can say that, okay, the viewers needs to know about this particular festival, or which happens in Mexico?
Well, I mean, we were talking about the Day of the Dead, so I think that the festivities surrounding the Day of the Dead would be one of the most colorful, and I would really invite Indian tourists, Indian people to go around that time. Yes, because it's I mean the tradition itself is, as I was saying, is very nice, but also what surrounds the tradition is very colorful. And the altars are wonderful also, very they are a very nice experience, to see them, firsthand.
Nice. Also, I have heard that in Christmas, 25th of December, you don't give gifts to the kids. But you give it on 6th of January. Is it true? I mean, you celebrate Christmas giving gifts on 6th of January instead of 25th of December?
Both. I mean, yes, Christmas is a very big Christian celebration, and traditionally, the the day of the the how do you call it in Spanish? Yes, but the Dia de Reyes, the three kings in the Christian tradition. I mean, that is the day when traditionally where the presents were given to the kids. But they are both, in the Christian calendar, important.
Both are days.
Yes.
Okay, nice. And yeah, of course, we are talking so much about the food. Like many people travel to Mexico, love food. But perhaps what they remember most isn't the meal, but it's the family gathering, as we were discussing that, family gatherings are so important. So, what does a Mexican dinner table teach us? I mean, teach the entire world about?
Well, I would say that it would teach the world, first of all, hospitality, of course. That always, it is a very open affair, and people are welcomed. Yes, you can always have an additional plate for a visitor. So that would be the first thing that comes to my mind: the hospitality. The second is that the rhythm, perhaps, of the meal may be different. There's a word in Spanish, sobremesa, so it means to stay in the table talking after you had the meal. So that's very common in Mexico, of course. You do not only finish eat and that's it, but very often you
Talk a heart to heart conversation kind of thing.
Yes, I mean, you finish your meal, but you keep on, talking and maybe having some coffee or whatever. But it's another rhythm. It's more paused, and you're meant to enjoy the company and the conversation with the family and friends,
Right.
and that's very nice.
That's very nice, actually. And I feel, this journey's travels happens begins where the guidebook ends. And so, if we met at Mexico and not in India, where would you have taken me to?
Wow, I would take you to central Mexico,
Okay.
to maybe the state of Guanajuato. So, which is wonderful. You have a very nice colonial city, Guanajuato, and you have also a magical town, San Miguel de Allende.
Okay.
And you could see, um, you could have a very nice snapshot of what Mexico is. At its core, the culture, the architecture, the astronomy. Maybe that's not so famous destination for Indian travelers, because in Indian travelers we will think about Mexico. They will think about Cancun,
Yes.
maybe Mexico City, maybe Baja California. But the central hinterland is absolutely amazing.
And I guess that should be the one fixed schedule in the itinerary of anyone traveling to Mexico.
I would say so, yes, absolutely.
Tell me about the itinerary of how many days do you think one should plan for if they're traveling?
It is, I mean, Mexico is such a vast country, and I mean, if I told you 10 days or 2 weeks, you would just scratch the surface.
Okay.
But I would say that, I mean, for a, regular holiday, at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
So maybe in 1 week you could barely, see Mexico City, but you want to see Mexico City and maybe the Yucatan Peninsula, which are very popular among foreign tourists.
Right.
Then I would say the minimum would be 2 weeks. But of course, you can spend weeks and weeks in Mexico, and you will find a lot of things to discover. Of course, you have the central Mexico, state of Jalisco, the Baja California Peninsula, which is wonderful, this natural scenery, the desert. So yeah, you need a lot of
Okay, and which time will be of the year best? You were suggesting October, November time. Is it still the best time to visit Mexico?
Well, Mexico is actually an all year, round year destination.
Okay.
You can really go. I mean, Mexico itself, Mexico City has a very nice mild weather, so you can go in wintertime. It will be cool, but I mean not freezing cold during the day.
Okay.
And right now, I mean during summertime it will be rainy season, which is also it's nice. In another way, beach. Well, they have very good weather year round, so you cannot go wrong really.
Okay, right.
Anytime you pay.
That's the best thing because sometimes we normally travel, but we always check in that our family members are present at what time of the time. But if this is the scenario, then I guess it's a must destination. I mean, Mexico could be any time in our cards.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Right. Okay. Coming back to the places, you have two famous volcanoes.
Yes.
And they are tied to one of the country's most enduring love legends.
Yes.
So it's fascinating how landscapes became stories. So can you say a little bit about it?
No, well, yes. I mean, Mexico is a mountainous country, and very close to Mexico City, you have these two volcanoes called the Iztaccíhuatl and Popocatépetl. And there's this legend that says that the Popocatépetl is it's actually in the shape of a warrior that is guarding his beloved princess that is laying down. If you see that the shapes of the volcano, the Popocatépetl has this shape, a conical shape, and the Iztaccíhuatl has this shape of a laying woman.
Okay.
So I think that's it's a wonderful legend, and it gives the scenery this it reminds you
Right.
that the scenery is very much intertwined with our culture, and that is the scenery, the natural environment of central Mexico, of the Valley of Mexico, where Mexico City is located, where our the ancient Aztec
Right.
civilization was standing before the Spanish came.
And talking about the audio, I mean, every country has a soundtrack. Some might be very silent, some might be very vibrant, some are very rock on kind of thing. So, according to you, what Mexico, feels like? Which soundtrack you get?
Well, it is. It's gonna be a loud soundtrack. Again, another point of contact with India. So we are countries we are not really silent countries. You will. I would say it's a multi-layered soundtrack. So you have a lot of voices, people talking, dogs barking, street musicians, the traffic. So it's the human life, life in general. You can really feel it. You can really hear it. You are in Mexico City, and you are, I think, bombarded by this stimuli, and of course visual stimuli, but also the sounds of the city.
Right.
I would say that Indians would also read it a lot. I don't know. Here in India, you hear a lot of
Yes, music.
music, people, like street vendors, for instance, people, that selling, talking. Yes. So and I think Mexico is very much like that.
That's nice. Again, so many things in no, and I feel, Mexico gives many things to people who travel there. I mean, if you want to just watch a place, a scenario, and just dwell into the scenery, the archaeology, and the places, cultures, you have that. At the same time, I believe Mexico nightlife is also very nice, and people love to, enjoy their pubbing and all. So that is also one life which, and it gives also enough freedom to people, so they can just go there and enjoy their life.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Mexico is of course, as I was saying, a very hospitable country, but also a country that loves to party.
Right.
I'm actually I was talking about the World Cup. You can see that these days during the World Cup celebration.
Right.
I mean, there are huge parties in all around the country, Mexico City, in Guadalajara. I mean, all over, and that gives you an idea of our character as a very, festive.
Oriented.
Festival, yeah, a festive country, a country that of course, is uh, has this. I don't know how to explain. Zest for life.
Right. It gives you a meaning to your life for every second, every minute to enjoy the life to the fullest. Or maybe I can keep it as
That's the
yeah.
That's it.
Okay. And talking about, that whenever, since I am from the film and media and all this perspective, whenever filmmaker comes to me and they talk about location, shoots, and everything, they try to find a location which has a soul so that it can relate to their entire film experience. So, what do you think, Mexico? Which are those cinematic locations which you feel are the best places so that a filmmaker can explore there?
Well, it depends on the film that you're doing. I would say that again, Mexico City. You can tell that I'm from there, but it is a wonderful location, and there are so many wonderful, spots, hidden spots all over the city
Right.
that can work really, wonders for any creative endeavor. The north of Mexico, I would say that this also has this very different scenery. The semi-desertic or the desert.
Okay.
The Baja California Peninsula, for instance, has this dramatic, landscape. The desert and the sea. It's absolutely wonderful.
Right.
So I would, and of course, the beaches, the Pacific coast. It's also very, very nice.
Okay.
And I can, think of many, movies that have been shot in these places.
Okay. But if you need to just send them one place, maybe your favorite place, which will that be?
I would send him or her to shoot in Mexico City.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. All right. And normally I have seen that visitors who leave Mexico, they always say that, I haven't thought that Mexico will be like this.
Yes.
They often say that. So, what is that surprising element which they always feel? Is it the people, the places, the atmosphere? What exactly it is?
I would think that many people that I have talked to already, have this idea of Mexico as a friendly place full of, heritage and, culturally diverse and stimulating. But a lot of people didn't know that Mexico is also a very modern, very sophisticated country. Mexico City itself or other cities in Mexico are very cosmopolitan, and they are, uh, on a par with any other, world-class city. So I think that's something that maybe wouldn't be expected from that, and they are very gladly surprised to see that.
Okay. I'm sure they are. Now, I believe India and Mexico, they don't share a border, of course. But they seem to share something deeper. Family, relations, faith, food, storytelling. So, I mean, we have spoken so much about India and Mexico. So, what is that one connection which you feel immediately could, connect an Indian and a Mexican?
Well, I would say yes. That the character of people, openness and friendliness is something that comes to mind immediately. I mean, when since I've been here, I have witnessed that time and time again. How friendly and how open our Indians are, and again it relates a lot to my experience back home,
Right.
and that's why we understand each other very well. I don't know. I think that we have a lot of things in common, even as you say, as you rightly point out, we are we do not share a border far from being. We're at the other side of the globe, but still, I mean, we deal with life in many aspects in similar ways.
Right. Agree. Let me ask you this way. I mean, Mexico has given to the world so many things. They have given chocolate, salt, vanilla, chilies, corn, maize. I mean, so many. But there's something more than these gifts to the humanity. Do you also believe in the same thing? I mean, Mexico has kind of taught the world, about family. But of course, the Indians too. But the way you remember your ancestors, I don't think anywhere else this happens. I mean, you cherish that feeling also in a very good way. So we have a saying in like in India that when you remember someone, remember their good memories. Try to remember those nice memories. But you actually do that. You execute them. So can you tell like what is that kind of a feeling of which you have already given to humanity?
First, I mean, I was telling you about how we are trying to uh, recognize
Yes.
our, the achievements and of our ancient civilizations, and I think that that's something very important. That we are, heirs to very sophisticated and very strong civilizations, the Aztecs, the Mayas, and others, that I mean, it had great achievements in astronomy, in I mean, the urban planning, in domestication of crops in agriculture, and I think that that is something that we have to value, and I don't know, we have you know we I don't know how to say this, but it's not only about tradition, about hospitality, but also about the valuing where
Your culture, your roots.
our roots,
Yeah.
where we come from,
Right.
and I think they are a wonderful addition and to world culture in general, right?
Right. Also, if you may say that, I need to book a ticket for Mexico, and you show me one photograph, and that really makes me sure that the next thing which I do is to book the ticket. So, what will be the one photograph that you like to show me of Mexico?
Wow. Well, maybe the You talked about the monarch butterflies, the migration of the monarch butterflies in the state of Michoacan. It is absolutely wonderful. If you saw that, or maybe I was talking about talking about nature, watching the whales in the Gulf of California. Yeah, they say wow, or the scuba diving in the Caribbean. Um, you will like to had to go.
And if I could say like this, I mean, if I had to pinpoint in the 2 weeks of my tenure in Mexico, what will be the first place which I have to be, then the second, then the third, so that I have a very nice trip according to you, if you could just give me an itinerary.
Well, you can go to. I mean, you can pick one, 2 or 3 spots, and then do some side trips around those.
Okay.
So you can go to Mexico City, for instance,
All right.
and then you can go to do day trips to Guanajuato, day trips to Teotihuacan, to Tasco. I mean, magical towns around, and then some beautiful archaeological sites around Mexico City. Then you can go to the Yucatan Peninsula, for instance, and then to Cancun, and then go to Chichen Itza, to Uxmal. Those are very important archaeological sites. Mérida and the cenotes and the Caribbean, and again, just barely scratching the surface. If you have more time, then of course you can move to the state of Jalisco, perhaps, and where tequila is,
Okay, that's the place of like tequila is.
Yes, yes. So tequila comes from the state of Jalisco. There's a town called Tequila, so tequila comes from there, and it's also where you can see a lot of traditional, the traditional culture and Mexican culture, Mexican music, and it's also a very nice city, and it also merits spending some days down there.
Okay.
So now but yes, I mean you can go Mexico City and then Cancun and then move around those spots. Okay. Nice.
So if I need to go there and bring a invisible souvenir, what do you feel I should? An invisible souvenir of Mexico back home.
An invisible souvenir.
Yeah, what do you think? So souvenir could be, maybe a book or maybe, kind of a thing there. But the invisible souvenir may be a memory which I'll bring from Mexico to back to my hometown. What do you think that will be? Which will be with me for years long?
Maybe one invisible souvenir would be the taste of authentic Mexican cuisine made in Mexico, which is, something that it is very difficult to replicate, even if you have very fine Mexican restaurants, all over the world. But having, this taste of Mexican food in Mexico, that would be a wonderful souvenir, invisible souvenir.
I'm sure it will be. So, talking about that, what is that cuisine? I mean, you talked about the spices and everything, but what is the one cuisine which you could name that would be the must, taste it when someone goes to Mexico?
Well, I mentioned you a dish called mole poblano,
Okay.
and I think that's something that that every visitor should take.
Okay.
Is this thick sauce made of I think it has more than 20 ingredients. It's a sweet, savory, spicy. It has chocolate. It has sesame. It has a lot of flavors, and it's amazing. And it's a very traditional dish, and I think Indian tourists would love it.
Okay. Is this a vegetarian dish or it's a non-vegetarian dish?
Well, it is mostly non-vegetarian, but it can, I mean, of course you can take it veg version for Indian visitors.
I'm sure. Okay, and avocado. I mean, this is something, I guess it has become a trend now. I mean, people everywhere is trying with avocado sandwiches, avocado burritos. I mean, there are different things. So, what do you feel that, because avocado has been originated from Mexico.
Yes.
So, what is a favorite dish of avocado which you could suggest to the viewers here?
Well, that's a difficult question because in Mexico we use No, no, of course we use it, but we use it in everything. So I mean, we serve it on the side. You can have it, as a taco, with tortilla and salt. It is on its own, so it is everywhere. So of course it's one of the gifts of Mexico to the world, and now it's super popular.
Yes, yes, everywhere. Yeah, right. Correct. Because I feel if it has been through ages, but now people are more, they're eating healthy, they're eating clean food, and of course the raw and that savor food of outside. I mean, binging upon the roadside food is different thing, but at the same time enjoying the real food, which is good for our health. I believe Mexico has given so many gifts to the world. So talking about that, I wanted to ask you that, like, you have been quite a while in Mumbai. So, this podcast, The Living Blueprint, is made so that, we normally when we explore, we feel after waking up every day, we would like to take back our emotions, follow some mentor, follow a blueprint for ourselves. And we thought to make this particular podcast so that whenever someone thinks of going to a place, let's understand and listen from a person who has actually lived that place. Today, you might be the Consul General of Mexico here in Mumbai, but you were that small kid who was born and brought up in Mexico.
Yes.
So, who will be the best person to tell about Mexico rather than you? So, that's the reason we made this podcast to understand a country through the eyes of a Consul General. But at the same time, I know you have so much attachment with Mumbai, especially, and with India people here. So, what do you think that once you leave this country, I'm sure you will remember all of us. But what is that one thing which you want people to remember you for?
Oh well, uh, I hope that in a very small way I can be remembered as a bridge between our two countries. That the not only as as a representative of Mexico here that promoted more trade investment, but also culture and tourism.
Yeah, of course.
And vice versa, as a person that transmits to our country the great opportunities and the great promise of India, which is such an important country in the world, and a country that is increasing its importance and standing in all matters. Uh, Also, I hope that we remember us as a friend, as a true friend to so many Indians that I have had the privilege to know here. And I think that in the end, of course, I will leave as it's part of our job, but I hope that these personal relations will remain, and that even if I'm in another posting, I don't know where or back home, I will be able to call my friends here and vice versa.
Definitely, I am sure. I have met you. I know you are a person very kind, very down to earth personality, and you make us maybe that is that innate quality of Mexican. You make things so easy. You make the atmosphere so friendly. So thank you so much for joining us in our this podcast of the Living Blueprint. It was a complete joy for us. But before you leave, we would like to ask you a quick question. So we have a round called rapid fire.
Okay.
And it will be very easy. It's just that I'll ask you a few questions. It's just one word or maybe a yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. One hidden destination every Indian should discover about Mexico.
Guanajuato.
Oh, okay. And one Mexican dish beyond tacos, maybe the one which you mentioned, or you won't like to add something else?
Chiles en nogada.
Oh, okay. It is made of chilies. Okay, all right. And one festival everyone should experience once.
Beer de Death.
Okay. One Mexican film everyone should watch.
Roma by Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay. And one Mexican book that changed you.
In Light of India by Octavio Paz.
Okay, nice. And one word, I know it's a difficult one, that defines Mexico.
Apapacho, which means like a tight, sentimental embrace. And it comes from Nahuatl. I think it defines Mexico.
Very creative answer. Okay. Sunrise in Baja California or sunset in Yucatan?
Sunrise in Baja California, but you can actually have both.
Okay. One place in Mexico that still gives you goosebumps.
The Zócalo in Mexico City.
Okay. One Indian traditions Mexicans would instantly relate to.
Diwali.
Okay. So Diwali is also something which is very much common.
I don't know. It's not common. But I think.
And how do you relate to it?
Because it's such an colorful and important festival.
Right.
The festive season in general.
Of course.
I think it would be very much relatable to us.
Agreed. Okay, let's complete the sentence. Mexico isn't just a destination. It's
home.
Oh.
Even for the first, even if you visit for the first time.
They'll definitely have this nostalgia feeling.
Yes.
So before we end this show, I would like you to say something to our Mexican friends there who are watching the show, maybe in Spanish.
India and Mumbai are such an incredible place. I have talked for an hour about Mexico and how Indians should visit Mexico, but I have to say that Mexicans, and I invite my fellow Mexicans to visit this incredible country, one of the most amazing places on earth, India and Mumbai in particular. I love it. Vengan a visitar India.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. And before I know, you have been here in India and Mumbai. Mumbai is known the Bollywood, the place of films and everything. So is there any film or anything in India which you love a lot and you'll vouch for it? So recently maybe you have seen something in.
Yes, I love a lot of Indian films. They are so incredible, full of action. I have recently watched Durandar, and I love that film, and I'm looking forward to watching the second part.
Okay. So you're a big fan of Ranveer Singh?
Yes, I love it.
Great. I'm sure the entire country does, and it's one of the very nice film. And I'm sure the second is still in the OTT platform. I'm sure you can have this visually very appealing and very nicely made.
Oh.
All right. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you. And we have a small souvenir,
All right.
which I want you to carry with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Muchas gracias for having here. So you came here, you shared your experiences of Mexico. It means a lot to us. And I'm sure our visitors, our viewers will love this show and will get to know more about Mexico. And I'm sure they'll book their next ticket to Mexico for the same.
I hope so. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for watching the show, The Living Blueprint. I'm sure you loved it. Well, the main agenda to do this show is that if we could be of little help to you to in your travel guide, maybe the next time you're planning to go to Mexico, maybe this podcast will become a little help for, attaching or arranging your itinerary. The main thing is that we do understand that every country has a soul behind it, and our purpose, we just want to become that small platform where we could bring the views and thoughts of a consul general through the eyes of them, how they see their country, and showcase that to you. That's the only thing which we have. But if you really love our show, please do let us know, comment to us, or let us know, subscribe to this channel, because me as well as my team will feel more motivated to work on this aspect. Till then, take care of yourself, your loved ones. God bless. Namaste.
Every conversation leaves behind a memory to reflect upon, and every reflection becomes a part of our living blueprint. Well, this was one of such conversation which happened. For many more conversation in future. So stay tuned for more such conversation, more people, more voices, and more to know about their blueprint.